Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today is day 485 and 486. This video is for day 486. It is 12:38 p.m. Let's get started with our walk and talk. Okay, so if you watched the video yesterday all the way to the end, then you know that our topic today is how to save with Verizon. But first, let's get everything set up with the treadmill and then we'll go from there. Okay, so we should almost be up to incline of 10. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have waited. I have never pushed the incline button while it was already inclining. I'm not liking that noise. You know what? Give me a second. That's not going to work for me because it's going to do that the whole video. Okay, 1 second. All right, so I don't know what's going to happen. Remember I told you this treadmill just does whatever it wants to. So let's try this again. And I'm just gonna have to slow myself down. I always feel like I'm rushing through everything. So let's just let it go for a second. I have a chair that is over in front of it and I thought maybe it was rubbing. So I moved that over. Hopefully that helped. And let's see. What happens? As long as it works today, I'm like, I don't care. I just need to get through my 2 walks. 80 minutes is a lot. Okay, now let's see what happens. Uh-oh. Okay, so now it's at 15. And then I also want to tell you guys, it is a bit windy outside. And I think that my husband might be doing some stuff out in the back, which I was not expecting. So you're going to hear some noises throughout the video. As long as it's not this, I'm like, we should be fine. And now I know that's a no-no. I should have known better. I've never done that before. I don't know what made me think I could do that. Okay, so I'm going to try to get it up to 2.3 just like the past couple of days. And then if you're wondering, if you haven't seen any of my treadmill walking talks, the second time I walk during the day, the second 40 minutes, is where I try to have my quiet time. So I know it sounds awkward, but, well, I won't say quiet time, I'll say me time because it's not quiet in here. But just time to kind of wind down. And then also, I don't do any other type of workouts. I don't go outside, walking, anything like that. I think at some point it is going to get cold, too cold to be outside. And so just out of preference of preferring to be inside, and the fact that I'm expecting eventually the temperature to drop to where I wouldn't be willing to go outside and walk anyway. So I'm just kind of like in my own little space, my own little bubble. And if you know me, I don't like being outside anyway, so yeah. Okay, we're at 2.2. No, 2.0. It's not moving that fast, but I'm standing here thinking I might want to kind of pick up the pace and kind of match the speed. Okay, now we're up to speed. Let's just go from there. Let me get this back open here. All right, so like I said, day 485, how to save with Verizon. Okay, so one of the ways that you can lower your bill with Verizon is having multiple lines. Now I know that's kind of general knowledge, but what you may not know is this. The lines do not have to have the same plan. The lines will lower to the price that they're supposed to be because you have multiple lines. Okay, so it's not based off of the type of plan each person has. It's based off of how many lines there are on the account, just overall. So the example I have here is if you have one line of the Unlimited Ultimate, that's their highest plan. It's really good if you travel a lot, especially internationally. That plan for one line is $90 before any discounts or having any add-ons, surcharges and taxes, phone insurance, and anything else that you can add onto your account. Now, the first way to save would be to have auto pay and paperless billing. That takes $10 off of the account. And then if you qualify, which I guess the new thing they're doing with the loyalty discount is that you have to reapply every 12 months. That's an additional $20 off per line. So that $90 for that one line turns into $60 before all the stuff that I listed. Now, if you have two lines, then the price, I believe, is $75 per line, minus the $10 auto pay and paperless billing, minus the $20, equals $45. So initially, at the $75, before those two discounts, your first line went down $15, and your second line is also $15 less than what it would be if it was just a single line. Okay, so now we're going to go to if you have three lines, which is what I was going to start off with, but I didn't want to go out of order. So, having three lines is really where, wait a second. What I forgot to point out with the numbers I just gave you, going from $90 to $75, minus the 10, minus the 20, of $45, keep in mind that would be each line. That doesn't just lower the price of line one. You get the $10 off of paperless billing and auto pay, and the $20 of the loyalty discount off per line. So when you look at it that way, then like I said, it's still, well, no, it's actually, being that having those discounts with one line goes down to $60 per line. Well, that's the one, right? The two lines going to $45 each, then that's a total of $90. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, if I have one line, I would still take advantage of the discounts. Yes, but I'm just saying, obviously, if you need two lines, at least you're not still paying $90 per line. See what I'm saying? Okay, so for three lines, the backwards, Unlimited Ultimate, I always want to say it the other way, is $65 before any discounts. Minus the $10 for auto pay and paperless, minus the $20 for the loyalty discount, makes each line $35. So the total before your taxes and add-ons and all that other stuff is $105. just reading for a quick second. Remember, I switched the order that I was reading. And I would have to say, I did not put down an exact amount because I don't know what your surcharges and taxes would be. But roughly, let's just say you had no add-ons, no phone insurance, no packages, Disney Plus, anything like that. If you just added in the taxes and surcharges, I'm going to say somewhere between about 115 and let's call it about 120, 125. So closer to probably around 120 for 3 lines. And I know what you're probably thinking, well, I'll probably want the insurance. And maybe at this point, it's good to bundle in Hulu and whatever else they have. So at that point, it's left up to you. I do know that their add-ons are $10, depending on what you want to add on. You can even add on a certain amount of travel passes. But if you have the unlimited ultimate, there's no reason for that because your cell phone is pretty much international. And maybe tomorrow, I'll go in what comes with that plan. And we can just focus on that one. Okay, so you can also ask about the military, teacher, first responder, or other types of discounts, and if they can be combined with auto pay, paperless billing. And the loyalty discount. Okay, so before we move on, I want to tell you 3 different ways that you can go in and find a loyalty discount. Because I'll tell you a quick story. So what happened with us is that they said, oh yes, you qualify for the loyalty discount. I said, okay. It says $20 per line. I was like, even better, right? Because my line and my husband's line, there's 2. Okay, having 2 lines is gonna make it go down anyway, right? And so they said it won't start until the next month. That's fine. Next month came, the next month after that, believe it or not, 3 months later, I was having to call in and have them manually apply that discount. So they said, okay, go to your account and go to, I think it was something like new PIN or new transfer PIN. It's in the account settings or something like that. It'll tell you the savings, but what's going to happen is it's going to tell you to click on the offer. Well, if you just open up the app, the very first page, one of the tabs at the top is my offer. So that's the same exact place it's going to take you. And when you go there, what you're going to find is no matter how you got to that same page, you might not see the offer. So what you want to do is open the app and go to My Access. And then you should see the offer there. So far as I know, you have to activate the offer, the loyalty discount, for each line. So if you have 3 lines, there's a possibility you'll see 3 boxes. And the reason why I say that is because once you click on the offer, it takes you to another page. It gives you a more detailed explanation of the loyalty discount. Then you click redeem. Then it takes you back to the previous page, and that box is gray. You can no longer pick it. If you want, you can go back to, I believe it says me, it's the first half, and then go into either your plan or your bill overview to see, I will see your plan, and then go to like your device or something like that to see if it actually deducted from each line. Or you can do what I did. I said, okay, 2 lines, 2 boxes. That tells me I need to go back to me, go back to My Access, go through the steps again, click on the second box, and then go through the process. And if I remember correctly, when I went back, I can't remember if the first box was still gray. But I just said, okay, every box I did not make turn gray, I'm going to do that as many times as I need to. And then I'll go check and see. I'll go look in bill overview. If I don't notice a difference there, because it'll tell you if it's prorated and what billing cycle it's for. And what happened with us is it prorated for the bill coming up, and then it also took the $20 off for each line for the next bill. So either that bill that was coming up, literally that was going to be paid in like 2 weeks, lowered down more than what it would have, or it actually applied to the next one. I don't know how to explain that, but I thought, I'll take it, I'm not going to complain. Because my first concern was, it's not $13.33, it's $20. And so then when I called them, they pointed out, they said, yeah, but they take you to the graph in bill overview, and then they tell you to look at the graph. And it'll have current bill, next bill estimate, and ongoing bill. And those numbers underneath is what you look at. So this month's bill was going to be about $40 lower than the next bill, the ongoing bill, which was kind of cool. But yeah, for the loyalty discount, my access. All right, so let's do a time check. I'm actually doing okay, but I'll drink water anyway. Now we're going to do a time check. 15 minutes and 23 seconds. All right, the next way to save with Verizon, free phones. Again, I know that's obvious, right? It's in the name, free. I get it. But here are some things that you may not have known. And if you're new to Verizon, or if you're deciding if you want to switch to Verizon, you may not know any of this information. So keep that in mind, that this information is for everybody who needs it. And I learned something new myself, and that's why I wanted to share with you guys, because we usually go directly through Samsung to get our phones. Whether we're going to trade in the phone that we have existing or not, we still usually do not go with Verizon. We prefer to have unlocked phones. But before I forget, this is what I was told. Don't quote me on this, just in case it was not explained correctly to me. But I'm trying to get these straight. They told me that if you have your phone that you got directly from Verizon active on your account for 60 days, at the 60-day mark, it would unlock. So if you want to know if that's true, especially if, let's say you are thinking about switching out of Verizon, then check and see, because if you're like me, unless you're eyeing a specific phone that you want, you're probably going to want to take your own phone, especially if you get a discount with the bring your own device. I don't know what other companies do that, but I believe Verizon is one of them. But like I said, this is for people that are thinking about leaving Verizon. So don't quote me on that, like I said, but after 60 days, you should be fine. Okay, so first things first, any phone, whether it's free or not, you have 30 days to return or exchange it. There might be a restocking fee of $50. Make sure you ask. If you talk to someone over the phone, I would suggest getting their name, because they might tell you there's no restocking fee, and then you go to a local Verizon, even if it's a corporate store, and they might try to charge you. So at that point, you might just want to deal with the people on the phone and do everything online, or have them set up your order. That way, they can waive the restocking fee. So I personally don't know if I would take that chance. I would just try to make sure I make a definite decision within the 30 days. Okay, so after that, with your free phone, I don't want to say you're stuck, but you have to keep the phone for a specific amount of time. Right now, what I've noticed with most of their free phones is 3 years, which, as you know, is 36 months. That is a long time, because so far as I know, there's no qualification for upgrades or anything like that within that time frame. Now, this example I'm going to give you is the 30 days have passed, you have the free phone, you have no insurance, and you are nowhere near the 36 months, okay? You're still within that time frame. To keep your bill low, if the phone messes up, because you have no insurance, the suggestion is to call Verizon and ask about certified like new phones before you buy a new phone, so that you're not charged for the remaining months of the 3 years, because the phone is no longer active on the account. So it's not like some of the other companies. Not only do you have to keep the phone for the 3 years, the 36 months, but it has to show that it's active on one of your accounts. It does not have to stay active on the number that it's associated with, but it does have to show it is active on one of your lines. So far as I know, they're free, and you're not charged for shipping. If something goes wrong with a certified phone, you need to know two things. The first thing is, if the phone comes messed up out of the box, because like I said, keep in mind, you don't have insurance, and you're still within that 36 months. They advise for you to take pictures and videos to do an unboxing. I personally, if I was going to do the video, if the phone was messed up, I would start the video from before I open the shipping box. I mean, yeah, you could tape everything back up if you forget, but I would have to say, just record from the time you bring the package in if you're going to open it right away to test the phone to make sure that it works. Because after you take the pictures and the video, especially if you do the unboxing video and it's all one video, when you call them, they might ask you to send that information in. So make sure you call them right away. Reason being is this. Well, let me drink some water first and do a time check, and I'll tell you. Okay. So the number 2. It's important for you to know that after your first certified phone, there's a cool-off period before you can get another certified phone. The cool-off period can be anywhere from 6 months to a year. But there is no set amount of times that you can get a certified phone. But after every certified phone, starting from the first one, there is that cool-off period. Now, hopefully, if anything were to happen like that, you're already outside of 36 months. So not having insurance, or the fact that the phone was free, and that was the agreement you made, the 3-year, 36-month agreement, if that happens now, you can choose what you want to do. At that point, you might just go ahead and buy another phone outright, or go with the deal from Verizon, knowing that after 60 days, the phone is going to unlock. Okay, so we're at 23 minutes, 44 seconds. But yeah, there are tons of ways to save with Verizon. And I would have to say, they have it in their record that I've been a customer for a little over 10 years. And I think, I'm not sure, but I don't think they're counting the first time I was with them. I switched to a different company. I will not do that again. I switched back and I'm going to stay with him. So I've already told the story, but I told it a long time ago. I don't know what video it was, so I'll tell you what happened. Okay, so I had to go to a court building. I don't know if it was a traffic ticket or what it was. Back in my, well, these flashes are new. They've been adjusted. You can find the pack that I'm sweating, and so they're slipping, as you can see. The reason why I'm telling you that this is because you may not have watched yesterday's video to know that these are new. I haven't even had them, well, no, I take that back. I have had them for about a week now. But anyway, so at this courthouse in the city where I'm from, there are courtrooms and other rooms in the basement. So I remember I was walking on my phone, talking, and I walked past this young lady, and she was so shocked that I had service, she totally ignored the fact that I was talking on the phone. And she was like, how do you have service and we're in the basement? I just simply looked at her and said, I have Verizon. And I smiled and I kept walking. So I'm going to tell you that even back then, oh, and I'm in my early 40s now, the reception for Verizon, from my own experience, has been, I would say, excellent in comparison to other companies. I've had Sprint. I can't remember the name of the other company that I had. And I believe I ended up with Sprint after they merged with this other company, but I have had other phone companies in the past, before and after Verizon. And for me, the reception and the fact that they're getting really creative with their phone plans, the prices, the way to lower them, without having to turn in paperwork to prove, that you're a teacher or in the military or something like that. Usually that discount, I have qualified for that before, is only for 2 years. And then you would have to redo it again. So I like the fact that right off top, if you qualify for the loyalty discount, there's a $30 savings between your paperless billing and auto pay. That's all one discount under one title of the, like I said, the $10, and then the $20 for the loyalty discount. And being that it's per line, it really helps. Okay, so time check, 27 minutes. I think that's at 35 seconds. I closed my book kind of fast. But I'm going to say I'll stick with Verizon, and I will stick with getting the phones directly through Samsung. If the phone had not been free, I didn't want any more device payments. So, and I don't know, I like my phone as well. But, yeah, it was really cool that it worked out that way, that they're priced that way to lower the cost every time you add a line. Because with my husband, so he had a company phone and no personal phone. Then it ended up to where he switched companies, but the previous employer said, you can take your phone number. So that's how he ended up with a personal phone. And at first, he was on a separate plan of his own with Verizon. And I believe he was receiving a senior citizen discount. And I asked him about the loyalty. I think he said he wasn't sure if he was getting it. If he was, it might have been like $10 or something like that. So when I started looking at ways he could save, because of course, when he left, he had to take his number right away. And so we didn't even have time in the beginning to think, oh, just come onto my account. So we ended up doing, I don't know if it was like a account merge or something. There's a specific name for if the other person is already a customer with Verizon. And you choose which account is going to be the main account. So once we had more time to look at that, and I already knew 2 lines will make both of our lines lower, I said, okay, do we lose anything? And the answer was no. And whatever discount I was getting, it would apply to his line because, of course, his line is seen as being a second line for me. So it worked out. The other way, let's talk about this. I did not write this down. It just popped into my mind, and I saw a picture, a vision, whatever you want to call it, of the Verizon credit card. Let's see if I have enough time to talk about that a little bit. Okay, we're 30 minutes and 42 seconds. Okay, so with that card, they recently, and I say recent, we'll say within the past 6 months, they changed how much of a percentage you got for certain purchases. Also, I think there's a regular Verizon Visa card, and there's also a Verizon Visa signature card. So when you apply, you might start off with the basic one and eventually be upgraded to the signature card. Okay, so these percentages, even though they're not exact, are examples for the signature card, not the regular one. Okay, because I started off with a regular, and eventually they switched me to signature. I didn't even ask. So most purchases, gas, groceries, are 4%. If you want to call it cash back, however you want to word it. Then I believe paying your Verizon bill, I want to say it might be 1% or 2%, I'm not sure. But you do get some percentage back for paying your bill with that card. So of course, I have it set up for the auto pay. And then also, Verizon purchases earn, even if it's not 1%, let's say it's 3 or 2, the point is, when you shop with them online and I'm assuming in store, you also get some cash back. Now, that cash back, you have different ways you can use it. One, obviously, since we're talking about lowering the Verizon bill, I'm going to go straight to that example first. There is a part in your app and just work with me here because I'm trying to visualize from the first page. When you first open the app, I believe it'll show you a box of how much cash back you've earned. You click on that, and then it'll say something that'll make you think that you're kind of going away from the Verizon platform altogether, and you're just going to the credit card side of it, but you're kind of not, because that's where you'll see the different options. Bill statement credit. I want to say you can do gift cards. I could be wrong. And I want to say you can shop with your Verizon dollars as well on their website. I don't know about in store. But the key thing is being able to use it on your bill. So even though I always make a suggestion, if you're going to, I call it taking that dive or jumping off that cliff for your credit, like taking that chance, right? Of course, I don't mean literally, okay? But if you're going to take, I'll say that chance, you want to be able to use your cash back, miles, points, whatever you're going to get in different ways. You don't want to be stuck having to shop on a certain website, let's say only on Amazon, being able to use your cash back there. Or with Citi, I think it's called Thank You, unless they changed it. Thank You, I think, has its own website. They're their own separate company. And they have a lot of items there, but also your statement credits, you want to make sure that you don't lose value in your points when you do that, or when you redeem or use, same thing. In this case, I think it's percentages for shopping with them. You want the value to stay the same. And if it's worth more, great. But I would have to say, back when I used to use my Verizon card more often, I've gotten up to the point to where, keep in mind, these are things I would have bought anyway. Groceries, gas, paying a bill, all of that earns a certain percentage. I think I've gotten up to 20, 30, and there is no max. Obviously, the max is your credit limit. So it could work to your advantage, especially if you're starting off and you don't have any credit cards at all, but you're with Verizon and you're trying to lower the bill. In the meantime, if you think your credit is good enough, then it might be a good idea. Because at least you're getting some of the money back that you're spending anyway. And then as time goes on, you'll find other ways. If you decide that you want to apply for a different credit card that has more benefits, that has more variety of the ways that you can use what you're earning. But it's not a bad idea. At the time when I applied for it, it was beneficial because it was, I would say, second or third in line of being an everyday credit card for me. And my husband, let me tell you, and I don't know how it would work if we were to put his Verizon credit card on the account and take mine off. I don't know if that would do something to the account, if we would lose some type of discount, maybe the auto pay, even though we put another card back on, and even though it would be a Verizon card, but he uses his more than I use mine, and he would get up to where he would have like $50 or something that he could use towards his bill. So I would have to say that for me personally, that I'll just have to be strategic about it, because the main goal is to cut down the bill. And then I have to tell you, not having the insurance, so the Verizon mobile phone insurance is its own plan. It covers whatever phone you have on that line, okay? It does not have to be a phone that you got from Verizon, but it's pricey. If you get the highest tiered one, I think it's $19 a month. Then you can go through like manufacturer warranty or something like that, which if you go manufacturer, usually you'd have to go through the manufacturer. Certified goes through Verizon. But with the insurance, I believe they can help you with the manufacturer warranty of the phone as well, without you having to deal directly with that cell phone manufacturer. And then you have access to a Syrian, but as you know, you pay some type of deductible. It could be $100, it could be $75, and then you make your claim through a Syrian. I was told the phones are new, and if they don't have your phone anymore, they give you the next level up. But like I said, having these benefits with having that connection from having a mobile protection plan for each line, for each cell phone, $19 per month is expensive. Okay, so that's why I told you guys not only about the free phones, but what do you do when something happens to them? And like I said, just to do a quick recap, the certified like new phones would be a direction you could choose to go. All right, so let's do a time check. Perfect. I might as well close the book. We are now at 40 minutes. 1.48 for distance, 158 for calories. Okay, let me let this thing slow down. I feel good. That was a good walk. I just have to keep in mind that unless I have a really good reason, I have no excuse but to not get back out here and do my second walk. It is time consuming, but it's necessary, and for the most part, I'm not gonna go in and be like, okay, crunch time, you know, or anything else. So, I mean, I get a good combination here. I get I believe cardio with the treadmill. The incline, I think, makes it a cardio resistance workout. The incline is the resistance part. Get my heart rate going, blood flowing, and so I would have to say, not bad. So I just kind of, like I said, carve out the time for it. But you guys, thank you for watching. Like I said, as always, I hope that you guys have a safe and wonderful day, and that you are doing really well on your workout journey. Just go at your own pace, and speaking from experience, try not to put too much pressure on yourself. Okay, you guys have heard me say it before, that can really lead to I don't want to, and I don't want to eventually for me personally has led to I'm not going to. But I was doing really, really well. I mean, of course, with 400 something videos that I made, you guys saw, and you saw I kept walking after I stopped making the videos, but it just, in comparison to having to get dressed, getting ready to go into the gym and stuff like that, this is a good alternative. And then I get to be inside and protected from the elements of outside, right? If it were, let's say, well, obviously if it was raining, I wouldn't go outside anyway, but even like if it's too hot or something like that. So yeah, I guess I found something that is just simple for me to do. So I would have to say another part of the advice I would give you, like I said, you can take it or not. Make your workout as simple as you can, and it really does help. For me, I know in my mid-20s, I started off in wherever I lived and then worked my way to the gym, and I found that I do not stay motivated with the gym, and I kept paying for the membership and I wasn't going. Okay, that's way before we moved out here. So now I'm happy that I am learning, keep it simple, don't complicate it, and then maybe I'll do more. I'll be more motivated to do some type of exercise to stay healthy. But like I said, you guys, that's it for today, and I am not sure if I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. So far as there being a video, I have to look at my calendar. But until the next video, stay safe. Bye. Okay, I am so sorry, you guys. I forgot to tell you guys what a certified like new phone is. A certified like new phone is a phone that a customer returned for any other reason other than it's broken. They returned the phone within, let's say, a week to a month for other reasons, such as they didn't like the color or the amounts of memory that the phone had. Maybe they didn't like the quality of the videos and pictures or something like that. So they cannot, of course, be sold again as new. So yes, they're used. However, they were never broken in any way, shape, or form. They just now have to be sold as a certified like new phone. All right, now I'm gonna go. Bye.